Is it safe to say, Mr. Bluestone, given your experience as a federal prosecutor, the volume of cases that you've seen and handled, that you know your way around a courtroom?
I would like to think so.
We would like to think so too.
Supervised more than 1,000 cases, and as I mentioned, handled more than 100 of my own.
Fantastic. Mr. Devine, let's talk a little bit about your experience. You are the Solicitor General of the state of Missouri. If you had to ballpark it, this may be tough, but if you had to ballpark it, how many cases would you say that you have litigated just in your role as a Solicitor General? You were Deputy Solicitor General for several years, but let's just leave that to one side. Just as SG, how many cases did you get?
I mean, it would be impossible to know. It's in the hundreds of cases that I have supervised or personally litigated myself. As Solicitor General, I oversee the appeals for 200 attorneys in the office. We're getting a lot of appeals that are coming through that we're supervising on a daily basis. I also have a second job, not just Solicitor General, but also the Director of Special Litigation. And so I'm in charge of the unit, the trial unit, that is tasked with taking some of the most complicated matters that the state of Missouri is dealing with and taking those matters to court, to trial court especially.
So in these dual roles, you have represented the state of Missouri in trial courts.
That's right.
And in appellate courts.
That's right.
And in the state Supreme Court.
That's right.
And in the United States Supreme Court.
That's
right. You've handled some of the office's most complex matters, most complex litigation. Give us one example of a piece of complex litigation that you have handled and what you learned from it.
Yeah, I think the student loans cases that the office argued, we've now had 3 of those cases during the previous administration. Those were very, very quick cases. The administration at the time was trying to cancel hundreds of billions of dollars in student loans. We felt that that was unlawful. There wasn't any statutory basis for that. The courts ultimately agreed with us in all those cases. But it was a very, very quick moving thing, and we needed to move quickly to ensure that there wasn't permanent irreparable harm. So one thing we did in one of those cases, we actually sued before the rule had been published, which is a pretty novel thing to do, and we were able to come up with an interesting argument that ultimately prevailed in court for why we were able to do that. We showed that there was irreparable harm. $200 billion was about to go out the door, and we ultimately prevailed in that litigation.
And your success record is hard to argue with. I mentioned it in my opening statement, what you have won in judgments for the state of Missouri through the litigation you've handled totals in the hundreds of billions if you add it all up. I mean, is that correct?
That's right. I think about $700 billion.
$700 billion. That's pretty good, General Bailey. That's pretty good.